What's going on, guys? Proof here, and today I'm bringing you episode 4 of Cold Hard Proof, and it's the first non-spike episode, as you can see here. Today I'm going to be going over a big Nova Grappler combo that I came across, and it features Meteokaiser Bustered, which is going to be coming out in Fighter's Collection, if I do remember correctly. And his ability says Counter Blast 1, choose a face down card of your G zone, turn it face up. When this unit attacks, you may pay the cost. If you do, you choose the same number of rear guards as you have face up Bustered in your G zone and stand them. And if two or more units were stand or stood up by this ability, and you have 5 rear guards, until end of the battle, this unit gets Counter Blast 1, choose 2 of your cards from your hand and stand them. At the end of the battle, you may pay the cost. If you do, stand this unit and he gets -2 drive checks. And the reason I featured or focusing on Bustered with this combo is through his ability to stand up 2 rear guards with his skill, which is how you get the most value or maximum guard out of this particular combo. And then also 2 Meteokaiser Victor. With this unit, you choose a face down Victor, turn it face up. When this unit attack hits, you can choose one of your rear guards and stand it, and it gets +5. It then has the GB3. When this unit attacks, you stand up one of your guys and it gets +5. So it's definitely another good option to go into if you can't get the full Bustered combo off, which is kind of difficult because a lot of stuff costs 1 counter blast in this deck. And I tried to put in units here to help mitigate that cost some. And then, of course, the classic Vic Plasma here, which you should know and love by now. He's basically Counter Blast 2, activate after the battle, discard 2, restand him. And you can only do it once a turn. Excuse me. And then as you can't see here, I have 1 Blizza because it's going to be my first stride to help trigger the GB3 or the 2 face up of Bustered as fast as possible. And then we have, for the grade 3s, we have 4 Vic Plasma here. Or I'm not sorry, not Vic Plasma, Victor, which is the Stride Bearer, Stride Break skill, which you should know and love by now. Counter Blast 1, give your van, or on attack, you stand up a guy +5. I have Dan Shark here. He may not be the best option going forward, but for now, I definitely want to give this the best opportunity to see what it could do. It has GB1 Rush. When it stands, Counter Blast 1, and then choose one of your guys with equal or less power and retire it. It's pretty good. You don't want to ride this guy, even though it can give you a rush card. You definitely want to focus your abilities on getting Victor as much as possible. As for the grade 2s, we have 4 Sazanda, which is the whole, what's the word? Yes, the crux, the engine, the OP part of the whole combo because of his ability to keep standing, or if you keep standing him, he keeps getting +5 until end of turn, which is absurd. 4 Extreme Battler Abarail, which is your Glimmer Breath clone. When it's placed on R, you may pay the cost, which is Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1. If you have a Victor Vanguard, this guy gets +2, and then it also gets an auto of when this unit attacks, you choose one of your rear guards, stand it, and it gets +5. It's just like Cool Hank, minus the fact that you need to boost it, which makes it a great target to put in front of Ranbull because it attacks for 11,000 when you call it out from hand. Two Cool Hank here, your Amber clone, on boost, Counter Blast 1, send the guy gets +5. And then 2 Humpty Dumpty here. My thinking was that since everything is going to be so Counter Blast heavy, I want to have some on-call, on-flips in here. And that's where Dumpty comes in. And it's handy as a 9k attacker as well. Scroll. Nova Grappler has so many cards, it's absurd. 4 Malyaki, which is your other busted piece of this whole combo. This guy says if you have a Victor Vanguard, all your units in the same column as this unit gets Rush. When this unit stands to the effect of one of your cards until end of turn, this unit gets auto. And then when this unit attacks a Vanguard, choose up to 2 of your units and they get +4. The beauty of Malyaki is that the effect is stackable. So if you stand up a unit twice and it attacks, or yeah, if you stand up a unit and twice and it attacks, the next time it attacks, it gives 2 units plus 8 instead of 2 units plus 4. So it has 2 instances of the plus 4 ability. If you do it a third time, plus 12 to 2 units, and that's where things start to get crazy. I have 4 Gotcha Battle for now. Definitely, I wanted to give it a try. Most likely it's going to be switched back to the Unflipper, Lady Cyclone over here, just because you're going to definitely want the ability to unflip. But I just like the idea of giving some random unit the ability to guard for plus 10 until end of turn. It seemed kind of fun. 3 Ashi, your Stride Enabler, and then 3 Clay Doll mechanics for your on-call unflipping. As for the grade 0s, of course, our starter is going to be Ramble, as I mentioned. When his unit stands in front of it, you stand him as well. 5 crit, 4 of which are Red Lightning for your unflipping, 4 heal, and then perfect referee, 2.99. He is another part of the combo with Sazanda, which you're gonna see. He says, when it's on the field, activate, choose one of your rear guards, and it gets rush, and then when this unit attacks Vanguard, this unit gets plus 5 power, plus 5,000 power until end of turn. Or end of battle, not turn. That's the important distinction there. And then you turn this unit to your deck. This is also stackable, just like Malyaki is. So that's where you start comboing up plus 5,000 stacks on top of the plus 4,000 stacks, and things start to get hectic from there. And then 4 Energy Girl, just for on easy stand up to activate your rush abilities, and then she goes back to the deck, which you can then combo it up with more stands on top of that. So that's the deck. I went a little more in depth because the pieces aren't quite as, or they're more involved in this one than it was with the Spike Brothers combo. And so I'm going to set up the scenario and then show you guys the charts as always. Be right back. Alright, and we are back with the scenario. As always with my scenarios, it's 4 counterblast face up ready to be used. And oops, forgot a step. Open extra, flip. Alright, so first try is going to be going into Blizzard and then flipping up Bustered to be able to give you the chance to do Bustered's full attack combo this turn. And to be able to pull off the combo, assuming this is your field here, this is what you're going to need. You're going to need an Abarail, a Sazanda, a Malyaki, an Energy Girl, a Perfect Ref, and then a Dan Shark or something else to be able to stride with, hopefully for 1 card. So what we're going to do is that we're going to stride. And then we're going to go into our next Bustered here. And then we're going to call out Sazanda here. Malyaki behind it. That's important. We're going to call out Abarail. And then we're going to do Abarail's skill of Counterblast, Soul Blast. And then this gets plus 2,000. And then we're going to call out Perfect Ref here. And then we're going to trigger Perfect Referee, target Sazanda, and then it's going to go back to the deck and we're going to shuffle. And then using our last card, we're going to put Energy Girl behind Vanguard. And so the attack sequence goes like this. We're going to attack with Sazanda boosted at Vanguard. And then they're going to have to guard it because in my scenarios you assume they're at 5 damage. And then we're going to attack with Abarail here. We're going to trigger the ability and restand Sazanda here for 14. And then on top of that, Sazanda gets another plus 5 from that, from the attack. And then when this happens, the rush abilities of Malyaki and the triggered Perfect Referee happen. And so, or they're enabled for when Sazanda next attack. And so when we attack with Sazanda again, both abilities trigger. And we're going to give Sazanda plus 4 from Malyaki, one of the triggers. And then an extra plus 5 from Perfect Referee. So that's additional plus 9,000 right there. And then we're going to give Abarail here an additional 4,000 from the other Malyaki trigger. Excuse me. And then we're going to attack with Vanguard. And then we're going to trigger the on-attack ability of Bustered, which is Counterblast 1, Open Extra, flip up a copy, and then when this happens, you're going to stand up Abarail here and Malyaki here. When Abarail stands, Ramble stands up. And then on top of that, we have Victor's on attack ability given to the Vanguard, which we're going to counterblast 1, restand Sazanda, and Sazanda gets an additional 5,000 power. So that's 14. It's one thing to remember that the boost from Perfect Referee only happens until the end of that particular battle, but just because CFA is hard to work with sometimes, I'm just going to keep the power and keep that in mind. Just add an additional 5,000 every time. And so from here, you're going to do your triple drive, and then maybe no triggers. Good, because in my scenarios, I don't like to factor in triggers because those aren't guaranteed. And so when I do these scenarios, they're under the assumption that you don't check any triggers as well. Alright, and so after the battle, since 2 units stood, your Abarail, your Malyaki, the second part of Bustered triggers. So you counterblast, then you discard 2, and then the Vanguard restands again. And then from here, we're gonna attack with Sazanda unboosted, and then from here we get the trigger of, these are complicated, so I have to think about these a little bit more. So we're gonna get 2 boosts of Malyaki triggers from here, so that's another 8,000, so that's 22. And then on top of that, we have a secondary trigger of Perfect Referee happening, so which is an additional 5,000 on top of that, so a full 27. If my math is right, oh, and then we forgot the extra 10,000 coming from Victor and Sazanda, words, right? From Sazanda, there we go. Good Lord, it's been a long morning, guys. I'm tired. From Sazanda's triggers. So that's 37,000 full power right here. So it should be 51. So 51 to Vanguard on this particular attack from all the triggers happening. And then on top of Malyaki's secondary trigger, we give another 8,000 here to Abarail. And then, no, because it's only once a turn. So we attack with Abarail column again, attack to Vanguard for 28. And then this time we attack with Vanguard boosted, and no triggers happen in terms of this because they're both once a turn triggers. And then we drive check again. And then from here, Energy Girl happens, which is put her back to the deck, restand Sazanda, and then he gets another +5. So what's that, 42,000? Alright, and for the last attack here, the reason why I attacked unboosted is because this last attack here is going to go to the full column right here. So attack boosted, and then here we have 3 triggers of Malyaki's trigger, which is +12, oops, what's that, 42 +12, 54 for Sazanda, +12,000 to this Malyaki, because it's important to note that Malyaki doesn't say other units, so it can give itself the power as well. And then we have 3 triggers of Perfect Referee, which adds an extra 5,000 from the other triggers that we have here. So that's 59. And if my math is right, this should be 92, 93,000? 92, close enough. So 92,000 here as your last attack to the Vanguard. And that's the full combo. A little more complicated than the spike combo, so I apologize if I messed up along the way, because these triggers are a little complicated for me because I'm still working out the kinks and starting to get more used to all the Nova Grappler combos. And so that's the full combo. And I'm going to pause it and pull up the chart real quick, and then we can go over the chart numbers and then the cost to go along with it. Alright, here's the chart that I used to break down the full attack combo. And as you can see, it's definitely more involved, like I mentioned before, than the spike combos that I featured, just because all the triggers are stackable, and so you have to remember that they go on multiple instances of said trigger. Hey, Puppy's up here again. He wanted to spend more time with me. And so, as you can see from the full combo, it gives you 8 attacks and 260,000 in shield was what I factored or tabulated, which is the highest attack or highest guard that I've covered in these combos so far. Second being the Miracle Ace Rising Nova, the Rising Miracle combo. And so it's definitely something to look into. Definitely something to look into, and definitely want to factor in the cost of all your counterblasts, because with Novas it's a little bit harder than Spike Brothers to unflip in the battle phase, because you need stuff like the on-hit storm unit and whatnot to be able to do that mid-battle phase, which is why I added the on-call unflippers and stuff like that, which is definitely why it should definitely be Credence. Is that the right word, Credence? Well, definitely want to think about adding in Lady Cyclone to your deck to be able to enable more unflipping. I just wanted to try out the Extreme Battler trick PG just to see how it would do. And so from here, I'm going to go into some more of the hidden costs and some more deeper analysis like I usually do. I'll be right back. All right. So as you saw in the CFA part of the episode, the cards you need to pull off the full combo is just 6. And 6 isn't a lot by comparison. It's just harder to get to because you need these very specific cards. Unlike the Miracle Ace Rising Nova combo is where you need like any assortment of charge units to be able to pull off said combo, or the 1 or 2 or 3 cards needed to pull off Bloody End. To be able to pull off the combo, in this case, you need these specific cards to pull it off, which can be a little bit harder to pull off successfully. But you need the unit to pitch for stride, Sazanda, I said it right that time, minus the struggle before, 1 Abarail, 1 Perfect Referee, Malyaki, and 1 Energy Girl. So that's definitely one of the costs to look into, because you need very specific cards to need it to pull off the combo. But if you can get these 6 cards in hand, your potential to pull off the combo, or their chances to win the game, go up immensely, provided you have the counterblast necessary. So if you have like a card face down for counterblast, you need to add in Clay Doll Mechanic or Hungry Dumpty, or needing Red Lightning in here as well. Your PG needed 1 in the drop zone to be able to unflip. Those kinds of costs needed into the deck. And which is why I put it into the hidden costs. You need counter chargers built into the deck to be able to pull off the combo successfully. So when I try this out some more, I'm going to take out the Extreme Battler PG and add in Lady Cyclone to see how it goes with that. Excuse me. But that's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed. It's definitely a little bit harder than the spike combos. Definitely something to keep in mind. Is something to look out for too, especially because Fighters Collection is right around the corner, and that's when Bustered comes onto the scene. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave me a like for my struggles of pronouncing Sazanda. Leave a like for the Bustered combo, being able to pull off crazy power, all the restand and all the shenanigans. Comment. I love to interact with the people. Definitely subscribe, help keep the channel growing. Share it with your friends. Let your friends tell 2 more friends. Let it become a whole big thing. And until next time, guys, peace. Be easy.